is insane. How did they hijack the planes? My sister said she was watching the news. One plane hit.
What?
Then, about 2 minutes later, the next plane hit.
You're joking.
Right into the front of the World Trade Center. Isn't that crazy, man?
That can't be real.
I swear to God, it happened, dude. We're gonna see them on fire right over here.
Aaron, we can see over your left shoulder there the building still smoldering of the World Trade Center.
Well, it is a grotesque sight to look at from about 30 blocks away from where we are. For those of you just joining us, let's just briefly recap what we know. About an hour ago, about 8:45 Eastern Time, one plane crashed into the tower.
We're watching this unfold on TV in the outer ring of the Pentagon.
You can see behind me. And then about a half hour later, a second plane crashed into the tower number.
And we had a call from my friend and classmate from the Navy Command Center, and all he says is, another plane has been hijacked from out of Dulles. It's turned around and it's heading for Washington. So immediately speculation begins. Is it going to be the White House? The White House is too small, too hard to find from the air. The Capitol building's easy to see, but you know, there aren't a lot of people in the Capitol building at any one time. The only building that is easy to find from the air that has a lot of people in it, the largest office building in the world, the Pentagon. Within a couple of minutes, we began to hear the sound of a jet engine, and it was pretty clear this plane was on full throttle as if it were taken off, but instead of the sound diminishing with time, it just kept getting louder and louder and louder, and we realized this is really happening. They're coming for us. probably arrived at the scene about 5 minutes after impact. And initially, we were way overwhelmed by the casualties. Every 20, 30 seconds, you'd see somebody stumble out of this open doorway. But there were people that are still trapped in the building. And so I ran down to the doorway. I got a few feet inside and I trip over somebody. And I could feel there's what I think is a woman. Two Army guys ran back in with me, and the three of us half dragged, half carried her just a few feet outside the building and laid her down again.
Everybody out! Everybody out!
I asked her what her name was, and she said her name was Antoinette. And she said, am I going to die? You know, it was clear that she was struggling to breathe. So I told her, no, Antoinette, you're not going to die. You're going to be fine. And I just stayed with her and talked to her.
Investigating reports that there was a hijacking of an American Airlines 767 out of Boston. That was perhaps one of the planes that was involved in this disaster this morning. Apparently both towers of the World Trade Center hit by aircraft. And additionally, a report that a plane has crashed into the Pentagon this morning. West wing of the White House has been evacuated. President Bush was not there. He was at a school in Sarasota, Florida. The New York City Fire Department is issuing a call for a total recall of all officers and firefighters. Trump, what you're doing, report to your company. A major disaster is occurring in New York City this morning.
I stepped into the newsroom, and the assistant news director turned to me. And he pointed his finger at me. He said, NJ, grab a cameraman, grab a crew, and go downtown. I said, who do I take? I turned to the assignment editor. I said, whom do I take? And he said, the first guy out of the garage. Get in the truck and go. At that point, I was still looking at this as a story, as a news story that we were going to tell on the 6 o'clock news that night. On our way down, we resolved we were going to go into the towers. We wanted to document the heroism of the firefighters.
You gotta go out. Grab your guy and get him out.
Don't tell me this.
I don't care. I don't care. Get out.
What's your badge number?
Get out.
Give me
Don't
your
worry
badge
about it.
number.
Don't turn around. 44. Get out. Who is that guy? Get that guy. Where's he going?
I understand.
When he confronted us so quickly and immediately, we were sort of taken aback. But then it was clear, really, like almost instantly, that, you know what, he's absolutely right. We better not go any farther. But yeah, I mean, he might have saved our lives.
Go to the right. Look at that.
So we crossed West Street, and we saw the fire command post there. The top two fire commanders were both there. Like generals organizing a battle plan. So we felt like we were safe there.
I'm sure half a dozen
was this whole battalion of firefighters in rows standing there. I mean, they looked like soldiers who were going to go into a battle. But you look at their faces, and they look frightened. They looked scared to me.
Certainly people are streaming out of buildings in lower Manhattan. We can now tell you that there's not going to be trading on the New York Stock Exchange. They're evacuating the New York Stock Exchange. NASDAQ was hoping to start its computerized trading day about 2 minutes from now at 10 o'clock. We don't know if that's going to happen. To this point, the White House, the Capitol building, the State Department, the Treasury in Washington, all evacuated after the blast struck the Pentagon. Manhattan is sealed off. If you want to get in, you cannot at this point in time.
We both just kind of stood there, and I said to Marty, I said, well, you know, let's shoot a stand-up here while we're here. And so I did, okay, take 1 and 2, 1.
This is as close as we can get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the 2 towers. Debris continues to fall and to rain on the people below. There are people hanging from the windows 90 stories up, and a number of bodies have actually hit the pavement.
I did the first take on the stand-up, and I didn't like it at all. I thought, oh, that doesn't sound right. I don't like that. And I said to Marty, you know, let me do another one. Take 2.
Take 2 and 2, 1. This is as close as we can get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents, and you can see the 2 towers. A huge explosion now raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way.
The whole top of the building fell off, dude.
Holy dude! Look, it's gone. Look, there was a bomb in that fucking thing.
Oh my God, man.
Look, it's gone, man.
This is not happening.
No,
This is not happening.
The entire World Trade Center on the south building just fell. I just saw the whole thing. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't see anything now. The whole thing went down.
What?
Oh my God. Oh, I saw the building crumble. It's all the way down. I can't see at what point it's still standing. Oh my God.
A situation that started bad just gets worse and worse and worse. The World Trade Center, South Tower, has totally collapsed. Again, we've had no reports of casualties. Obviously, there are going to be...
Everybody was running away. And we didn't know where we were running to. I turn around and there's this door, and it's a way to escape.
Marty, I'm Megan. I'm rolling. Right. We don't know what's happened inside. What we know we have to do is just keep running the other way. The firemen are going this way, so are the police officers. We don't know what's happening. Out!
Everybody else, let's go! She was just in the building right there.
All these years, I'm asking myself, what if there was no door? And you know there were people behind us that did not make it through the door.
Both Jen and I ran back across the street where we thought the entrance to the building was. We hit a glass wall. And that's where we got buried alive. The 10 to 12 people that were with us, we were all banging, clawing, trying to break that window. It wasn't breaking.
And at that point, my nose and my mouth were just filling up with dust and whatever else was in the air, and I couldn't breathe. Even with my shirt over my mouth, I couldn't breathe. And I remember slowly sinking to the ground and thinking, this is it. I'm gonna die. And I'm getting upset about it now, but in that moment, it was very peaceful. And even though I didn't know that the tower had collapsed, I didn't really know what had happened. I do remember thinking distinctly that at least my parents were gonna get my body back. My parents were, I was whole. I was whole, I wasn't damaged, and my parents were gonna get me back. My parents were gonna have me. And to take home.
I stepped back and I basically said a little prayer because I knew we were going to die. I grabbed Jen, I closed my eyes, and then all of a sudden, one individual got to his gun. There was this pap, pap, pap noise. Next thing I knew, I was being yanked through and over broken glass. Later on, I found out it was a police officer who got to his secondary gun and shot out the window and saved us all.
Yo, you have another tank? In, Yoily! Yoily, in! Deep breath, in, hold it!
I don't think anybody really understood, even then, what happened to the Twin Towers. I was numb, like in shock. I still don't remember. It was disbelief. This cannot be real.
As we exited out of the tower, I could hear this rush of air, feeling the heat, and then this thumping sound, and then it was just smack down, just plastered down, completely buried. A slab of concrete falling at an angle had knocked me down, but it was protecting me. I was sort of in a little cocoon, and it got just dead quiet to the point where I said, you know what? I'm dead. At that point, the thoughts going through my mind were, well, my kids, I have a birthday to plan, and my daughter's gonna be born. I'm not gonna be around for my kids. I won't even see my daughter's face when she's born. I have to be there. But as I started to move, someone grabbed my ankle. Said he was a security guard. And he said, if we stay here, they'll find us. I said, if you stay here, you're either gonna smother or you're gonna burn to death. And I started digging, and he followed behind me. And finally we saw a little peephole of light, and I looked at him. I said, okay, I'm gonna push you through. He was smaller than I was. I said, see if you can move some stuff so I can get out. And he squeezed past me, and I helped push him out. And I got back down. I was waiting. I didn't see anything happening. And when I stuck my head back out, he had been walking away down a pile of debris. So I started yelling at him, yo, yo, and he just kept waving, like, come on, come on. And I was the only one talking. And I said, I can't get out. And at that point I could see he's wearing like his security guard suit. But he just kept going. At that moment, I got really angry, and I picked up a piece of concrete that was laying there, and I actually threw it at him. That's how angry I was. I missed him, you know, and luckily I did, because I would have had to live with that the rest of my life. But once he left me there, just the next thought is, okay, I'm on my own. You're gonna have to do what you have to do.
When you're in the military, you train for battle. You know, I've been to sea on submarines where we had casualties, where I had to run to the scene of the casualty and you know, put out a fire or something like that. Nothing compared to what we experienced that day. And at some point, one of the security guards started yelling, "There's another plane coming. Everybody needs to move away from the building."
Colonel, you're doing anything you need. We need to gather up this paramedic equipment and move it. What do we got going on? There's an aircraft coming. Let's go! Move! Move! There! Move! It's triage!
Two planes hit the World Trade Center. Pentagon is a huge target. It just made sense for two planes to hit the Pentagon too. So we took this threat very seriously.
Get back! Get back! I got another inbound plane! Josh! Everybody get back! Get back! Get back! Get back!
Every airport in the United States has been shut down as the FAA and the government tries to figure out exactly, are there more attacks yet to come? CNN's David Ensor joins us from Washington. David, where in the Capitol are you now?
Well, Aaron, I'm in our bureau, but I have on the telephone with me Barbara, who's the wife.
I remember looking down and seeing the smoke. And I remember thinking, if at any point in my life what I did mattered, it was now. They lost radar contact with Flight 93. Any aircraft attempting to enter Washington-class Bravo airspace will be shot down. But it normally takes 10 to 20 minutes to get real missiles loaded up on the jets. So we didn't have any live weapons on board. There's no way for us to shoot this airliner down. I was just a brand new wingman. I had recently earned my combat mission ready status. My flight lead at the time was our director of operations, Mark Sasseville. His call sign was Sass.
Go for 86, turn right, heading 080. We're going to back you for the traffic. Okay,
And I distinctly remember I run after Sass down the hallway, down the stairs into life support where our flight lockers are and where all of our gear is. And I'm zipping up my flight suit when Sass looks at me and says, "I'll ram the cockpit." And I knew I would ram the tail. We knew without missiles that this would be a suicide mission. Going after a civilian airliner with innocent Americans on board. And these were citizens that we had sworn to protect. We flew to the Northwest, and we searched and we searched. We were too late for anything. The passengers of Flight 93, they had to make that choice.
On the morning of September 11th, I heard my sister-in-law, Kathy, run out of her bedroom door and down the hall and answered the kitchen phone. And I heard Kathy say, "Well, we love you too, Mark. Let me get your mom." And then she saw him. He said, "Alice, come talk to Mark. He's been hijacked." And I took the phone and I heard Mark's voice. He said, "Mom, this is Mark Bingham. I just want to tell you I love you. I'm on a flight from Newark to San Francisco, and there are 3 guys on board who've taken over the plane, and they say they have a bomb. You believe me, don't you, Mom?" I said, "Yes, Mark, I believe you. Who are those guys?" And then the phone went dead. After Mark's phone call was dropped, the 3 of us, Kathy and Vaughn and I, stood around in the kitchen trying to figure out what to do. At about that time, Kathy, who had been watching the television for a few minutes, said, "Guys, come look at this." So we went in and into the den there and watched, and we saw images of the North Tower and the South Tower in flames. And we realized that Mark needed to be told that he was part of a much bigger scenario. So I excused myself. I went into another room and dialed his cell phone number.
You've reached the mobile phone voicemail. Bingham, leave a message.
Mark, this is your mom. The news is that it's been hijacked by terrorists. They are planning to probably use the plane to hit some site on the ground. If you possibly can, try to overpower these guys if you can, because they're hell-bent. Try to call me back if you can. I love you, sweetie. Good luck. Bye-bye.
End of message.
He was a young man. He was a force for good in the world. I had never taught Mark how to kill anybody, but I saw him do some pretty rough stuff on the rugby pitch, but always in fun and in the spirit of sportsmanship. And now I was hoping against hope that my son could be a killer. But I knew that Mark would be able to seize the moment.
At any point, it would have been easy to just sit down and that would have been the end of me. But then I just kept thinking, I can't just lay here waiting. Don't give up. Just, I don't know if everybody has that don't give up. Most of the New Yorkers I know, they don't give up. They don't. You can knock them down, they get up again. You knock them down, they get up again. And I just squeezed through the concrete, the rebar. I scraped my body down from the top of my head to my feet. At the moment, that was the only way out. There was no one else there. It was me getting through there or not getting out. When I came out through that hole, it was like a blizzard down there. Papers, gray, embers flying around. But when I looked straight up, perfectly blue sky, and I could see my tower behind me, still standing there. And that's when I realized I'm still around. Whatever had happened to me, it didn't get me. I survived. I was lucky. I was very lucky.
Still around, guys. Still around. God bless you. We'll make it.
Tom Canavan.
Tom, what happened, man?
Big boom. Come down the steps, everything fine till we got to the basement, and then everything just fell in. I got trapped under there with another guy, crawled out, kept getting hit in the head, bounced all around. Finally, we clawed our way out over the rubble.
Yeah.
Come on, Don. We did all right.
All right, wait for me, Tom. Let's go. Animals straight down. Animals straight down.
Hoorah!
Kitty, let me interrupt for just a second. The Associated Press is reporting that federal officials fear that another hijacked plane is headed towards the Pentagon. And I'm looking for the time on this. We will continue to check that out. Kitty, I apologize for interrupting. Why don't you continue?
The three of us were very quiet. We all knew that it was a very grave situation that Mark faced. My brother tried to cheer me a little bit. He pointed out that since the hijackers had been so successful taking down the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, that maybe Flight 93 would land safely. And even as he was saying it and I was listening, we knew, both of us, that that just wasn't going to happen that way.
We've got the cops confirming this plane crash in Somerset, Pennsylvania. We don't know if it's a big plane, a small plane, any relation to this could be that.
United Flight 93, Newark to SFO, has crashed in western Pennsylvania. Again, United Flight 93, Newark to SFO, has crashed in Pennsylvania per United Airlines.
I'm now told that United Airlines is now saying that can you tell me the number of the flight 93 has crashed in Pennsylvania. Now, it crashed in Somerset County, Pennsylvania, near the town of Shanksville, south of Pittsburgh. We're told about 80 miles outside of Pittsburgh. It is not known how many
that was hard to take in.
crew were on board, although initial reports.
But I knew that I would never see Mark alive again, and none of those innocent people on Flight 93 would see their loved ones again.
The plane that crashed in western Pennsylvania, we are now told, was
United Flight 93 out of Newark, and it was headed for San Francisco. Now, was that one of the hijacked planes? Did some heroic pilot perhaps save an awful lot of lives in Washington? We don't know at this point, but we do know that it was United Flight 93 out of Newark, heading west on its way to San Francisco.
Even though our boys were not able to save their own lives, they saved countless lives on the ground. And I'm very grateful for what they were able to do that day.
We saw a lot of bridges, and we're drinking beer, and we got bought some toys. And I'm deeply in love. And that's about it. All the good stuff.
I don't know where I lucked out so much to have a son like Mark Bingham. He was a wonderful young man. I can't take any credit for it. It just was something that Mark had, and very grateful for that.
You're really seeing a lot of people trying to move north, away from any place downtown near the World Trade Center area. People are just walking. The subways are stopped entirely all around the area of the World Trade Center. You can't get below 14th Street, and there just feels to be like a massive exodus of people walking north to get away from the area as far away as
Hey, Nation 6, ESU-1 needs someone to check Tower 2 and give them an update. Quickly going down from the top. It looks like it's totally glowing red. On the inside, it's inevitable. You saved it. It looks like the building's gonna collapse. I would evacuate all people within the area of that second building. I don't think this has too much longer to go.